I feel like Sanford has also just given me the opportunity to do things like if I could tell my freshman year self what I'd been doing right now, she'd just be amazed. Freshman year Grace would be very proud of the person I've become and the person I'm still becoming. So that makes me very excited. My name is Grace Endrud, and I'm the Terry Sanford Leadership Award winner. When I first came to Duke, I really didn't see myself as a leader. I focused on the learning, and by the time now I'm a senior looking back, I end up in these leadership positions. It's from nothing other than just a love of being in these spaces and the learning. There's this program at Duke I'm a part of called the Nakayama Public Service Scholars, and going through that application process and just that idea of a public service ethos really impacted my perception of what leadership is, and I began to view leadership as an act of service. As a leader, you're not centering the conversation on yourself, you're centering the conversation on the people for whom and with whom you work. So leadership is about, looking around and leading with rather than leading to. I think one of the biggest things that I'm most proud of is my work with Duke Presidential Ambassadors. Duke Presidential Ambassadors, in its history, has really worked specifically with the Office of the President. As Director of Service, I realized that we were missing this opportunity to serve the Durham community. And this was one of my proudest achievements. We brought students around to tour campus. We were able to provide a bridge to them and imagining a collegiate education. It was just so amazing to see their faces when they turned the corner and they saw the chapel and they saw Duke. And I remember I had that same expression when I saw Duke's campus for the first time. So it just showed me what it was really all about. The second part of leadership that I think I only really began to understand after going to Geneva. Geneva was where a lot of the pieces really clicked for me. Being with Sanford in Geneva really crystallized that change is possible, that you can be part of an institution and also work toward that incremental change. One of my friends studies higher education policy, and she always talks about how Duke is a values-driven institution, specifically public policy. It's very values-driven, and in the way that it then encourages students and me as a leader to think about my own values. David Rubenstein and Fareed Zakaria at their recent event, they were talking about how it's just such travesty that our best and brightest they're going into the private sector, or they're not pursuing careers in public service. And I think Sanford does a really good job of encouraging students to pursue those careers in public service and turn their attention back to serving, putting the focus back on serving and values rather than simply being in it for yourself.
Obviously, we need more people like Grace in public service. That's what Sanford is really about. I work for Terry Sanford, and he would really think the world of Grace. He'd love to have young people around him, especially young people who are smart, but young people who are wise. And I think Grace really fits that mold. So I know Terry Sanford would be pleased about this selection.